Hello, Aldwyn. Altuney here with Mal Robson. He's 94 years of age, and it's going to be a very special interview. Not often do we meet 94-year-olds who have amazing wits about them, who are intelligent, who've had a full life, and who are healthy and happy people. And Mal today is someone who is quite legendary around these parts. He is the founder of the Palomino Riding School in Belrose, and we'll chat with him now a little bit about his life. Hello, Mal.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for making the time today to chat with us. When Bruce Porter told me about you, I thought, well, we've just got to have a chat and share some of your wisdom with people. So could you tell us a bit about your background? I'm sure you've seen all sorts of changes in 94 years on the planet. Where did it all start for you?
Well, it started originally when I was 14 and my dad took me from school. I'm dyslexic and said that he put a shovel in my hand and said, this is going to be your life. So it meant hard work from day one. And I've led a very good life. I've led a very healthy life. Hard work, which doesn't hurt. And I've gone on to go into an earth-moving business for about 20 years and then into horse riding for 39 years. Spent 22 plus years at Wild Beach Surf Club. I've had a very, very healthy, good life. I put it down to I've never smoked, never. And I do enjoy the beer, I must admit. But I'm not a vegetarian, but I do eat a lot of very green veggies. And that's my diet, is raw vegetables. I don't cook my veggies at all.
Yeah, they do say the more you cook your vegetables, the more you kill the vitamins in the food.
Yeah, well, my cauliflower and broccoli and snow peas and all is raw. I never eat cooked veggies, other than obviously in restaurants.
And do you do any gardening? Anything from your own garden?
I spent most of my life mowing and gardening and looking after 2.5 acres at 2 acres at Belrose and 8.5 acres here at Kirrabog.
Now, your history, I believe there's some kind of connection with Potts Point. Could you tell us about that background?
My ancestry was on the 3rd Fleet, and my great-grandfather, grandfather worked for the government. And when he finished his 7 years, I believe was given, I have seen a portion of an original land grant. And when he sold it, I don't know what happened, but today it is known as Potts Point. His surname was obviously Potts. And they call the area today Potts Point. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've been told. My grandfather, on my dad's side, came to Australia in 1860, landed at Rockhampton, moved to Sydney, started up a horse business with delivering stone and what have you for North Sydney Council. Excavated most of the rock where Luna Park stands today, and all the rock went into the roads around Crow's Nest, North Sydney and Moolarby and so on. I was told he had 400 horses, but I don't know how true that is. But I have seen photos of the horses at Wollstonecraft where they were in paddocks, adjusted in paddocks at Wollstonecraft. But I don't again know how true that is. He used to say to my mother when back in the I assume 20s, I don't know, but they would deliver poles, the light poles, to Palm Beach. And they would load the poles at McMahon's Point on the Monday, get to the Spit for the first day. Narrabeen was the second day. The third day was Palm Beach and unload. The fourth day was Brookvale on the way home and back in Sydney on Friday. So it was a 5-day trip with a 10-horse team with poles going out to Palm Beach, light poles to Palm Beach. So if you consider more than one jinker going to Palm Beach, there'd be possibly with horses, with drays taking food for horses and bedrolls or whatever for the men. There could have been best part of 100 horses there taking poles to Palm Beach. And again, as I say, that's what I've been told.
And where were you born, Mal?
1930, March 1930.
And whereabouts?
Do you want the address?
Oh, no, just the suburb.
Narromburn.
Oh,
Narromburn.
Narromburn.
Street, Narromburn.
Okay. And 94 years on the planet so far. Look, they say a third of people die by the age of 65. And at 94, you seem very healthy. You seem, you don't have dementia or anything like that. Your brain is healthy. It looks like your body is very healthy. What sort of changes have you seen in 94 years on the planet? And how do you keep so healthy? We did say the vegetables, but what else is important for a long, happy life?
I've worked physically hard all my life, and just keep a good open mind. I don't get upset about things. I just try to lead a healthy life. 22 plus years in the surf club, all my friends, not one of us smoked, so there was no pressure to smoke or whatever, and that was then when you finish and you're in your 30s, why bother? So I spent my life doing that. I don't know what else to say other than...
So being near the ocean was...
I spent the best part of my life at Wild Beach Surf Club.
Right.
I was in the boat crew for 15 years probably. Had a great time with great friends, great people, and been involved with great people all my life. When I started the riding school, I met some really, really fantastic people. Had a lot of very, very good friends. A lot of children that used to help were really, really, really good. I loved every one of them.
And
I loved the horses.
How did you go from being, so much into the surf to then being into horses?
I started off with the surf club. I was asked when I was 13, because it was during the war years, Second World War years, to help with the reel, and I felt so important that I was working on a reel, which made me join the club. And it just became part of my life, a big part of my life. When Dad was in the army. When he came from the army, he retired, he finished with the army. We moved to Wentworthville in Howes Commission Place. I used to travel, catch the 6 a.m. train from the mountains to Parramatta, then catch the train from Parramatta to Central, to Wynyard, then catch the bus to Palm Beach, which used to take me nearly 4 hours, and then spend a couple of hours on the beach, and then four hours to get back home, which would be 8 o'clock in the evening. And I did that for about 3 years. By the time I was 23, I'd saved enough money to buy my first front-end loader and went into the earth moving business then. And I was doing that for maybe 20 years. With that, I had 2 front-end loaders and a dozer and a big vibrating screen. And to start the riding school, I bought a horse for my wife, and some of her friends wanted to go with her, so I bought 2 others. And then they said, well, why not we pay you to go riding, which is how the riding school, the Palomino, actually started. So when I sold the tractors, the first weekend it rained and I almost had a heart attack because I didn't earn a cent for the week. I didn't at that time realise that I would be so dependent on weather. But it turned out to be really good, and to go Palomino, the riding school when I first started was only running mediocre. And I asked three little girls what colour, if they owned a horse, what colour would they like? And they all said together, Palomino. So I sold the horses and bought all my Palominos. And that's how we started off with the riding school, and I ended up with 30 odd horses, all Palomino.
And for people who don't know what Palomino means...
Palomino is a colour. It's a yellow horse with a white mane and tail.
Ah, okay. And then how many horses are there now?
I've got no idea. I sold back in 1993. It's still going, but they're now teaching. They don't do trail riding like we do.
Uh-huh.
We used to spend Friday with what we call mane and tail day. And I used to wash the horses in Sunsilk beauty shampoo. And I used to buy Magic Silver White. And we'd wash the manes and the tails and they would go blue.
Oh.
But in the morning when we went down to saddle up, the manes and tails were snow white.
Mm.
So I had horses that used to smell good and they looked fantastic, really did. And then in 1975, when the Americans were having R&R in Sydney, we were chosen for their riding school. So we did horse riding for the American R&R till 1970. It started 1965 and finished in 1972.
Mm.
So we did R&R for 7 years. And we would have 20 men in the morning. I would barbecue for 40 men. I'd have 20 in the afternoon, so we'd barbecue all together at 12 o'clock, midday. And we'd do that 5 days a week. And then we did 3 nights a week, where we rode till 1 a.m.
Wow.
And it was very, very good.
Mm.
Financially fantastic. So it allowed us to, the wife and I, to travel a lot and do a lot of our life. So that physical work, you say, how do I stay fit? Hard physical work all my life, outdoors all my life, ate well, never smoked, do enjoy a beer, but outside of that, it's, I've been lucky.
Mm. And what were some things you loved about working with horses?
The people. The animals were fantastic. I love my horses. But during that, I had the horses for 39 years. And during that time I met some really, really great friends. And the young girls that used to come out and give a hand to take rides out, because all our rides were supervised. They were fantastic children. And the nice thing about it is today, after I sold the school back in 1993, that I still, and my son still keeps in contact with a lot of the children that were involved with the horse riding. So that it was an incredible business.
A lot of people now use horses for healing. And they say, you know, horses are very spiritual animals and amazing, amazing essence about a lot of horses, that they can really connect to what a human being needs. Did you find that with your horses, that they were very connected?
I found that, like people, if you treat the animal like you would like to be treated yourself,
yeah,
you'll get this return back from the animal. And 39 years, and I had the best 39 years of my life with the horses and the children. The kids were great. And they now, are all married people now with their own families. It's been good.
What were some of the challenges of having a horse stud or having a horse riding school?
The only challenge was weather.
The weather.
If it rained, you obviously for safety reasons, you wouldn't go out. So that my feed bill for the horses was around about $900 to $1,000 a week. And if you didn't ride, if you didn't work, then you didn't obviously, and that was the biggest challenge, was weather.
What would you feed the horses?
Oh, well, there'd be chaff. I used to give them a lot of vitamins, liver mole, double crushed oats, chaff, bran and pollen, and I used to feed a lot of sorghum. And sorghum will bring out the colour on the coat like you would not believe.
Mm.
So that my horses were covered in like gold dust. And I had to start when I first started, I had a liver chestnut horse that in colour, and he was covered in like a purple sheen because of the sorghum. Sorghum is fantastic for them. It's, I assume, full of oil or whatever, I don't know. But it makes their coats look incredible.
Mm. Amazing. And I know you said you never smoked. You do like a beer occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
And I know back in the day, smoking was very popular. You know, it seemed to be the very trendy thing to do. It was all over the ads back in the day. What were your thoughts around people who smoked back then?
I never thought about it, to be honest, because the boat crew and the club, none of us smoked.
Right.
And the girls that we became involved with, none of those smoked. So there was never any, I need to have a smoke. It never entered my mind. If this goes to where it will kill my son. But I caught him smoking once, and I bought a great big cigar, and I made him smoke it. And he was so ill for so long, has never smoked since.
Ah, that's one way to stop people smoking.
My dad used to say, if you're going to hit anybody or like cause a fight or whatever, do it very hard the first going, because you'll never have to do it the second time. So, yeah.
I love that.
So,
And what are some big changes you've noticed in the 94 years you've been on the planet with the way the world is and the way people are?
I find it very sad that my Australia has gone. When I was growing up, a man's handshake was worth more than a legal document. Today, that doesn't work today. If I could tell a little story, which I think is very true. At the end of the war, I was listening to the radio, and this fellow was interviewing an army major in the British Army. And they were talking about how countries will survive after the Second World War. And the army major said the country that he felt most sorry for was Australia. And the interviewer said, why Australia? And he said, because of the First World War, the Second World War, most of Australia's breeding stock has gone. And he said, what will happen? I had never heard the word immigration. But he said Australia, the only way Australia will survive is with immigration. And the Australia that was around in the 20s and the 30s and so on will go and never come back because of immigration. And how true that is today. Australia's not the same country that it was prior to the war.
Yeah. Well, they had the White Australia policy there too for a while, didn't they?
Yes, it's... yeah, I can't talk over that, but yeah, it's and how true the major was. With immigration, there's very few of the real Australians left, in my opinion.
It's very multicultural now, that's for sure. It's definitely changed a lot in that time. And what about technology? You know, now we have mobile phones. I mean, here we are, we're actually doing a live stream straight to Facebook right now.
Technology is so far above me, I have no way of ever... And to be honest with you, to drive a car, I would still prefer to drive a standard gearbox rather than an automatic.
Right.
I would, because then I'd feel like I'm driving.
Yes.
As it is now, you just sit there.
Yes. Yes.
And the car takes you from point A to B. And I learned to drive on an old wooden cabin international truck, a 1935 model. A split windshield, no doors. It had a canvas blind that just come down the side. Truss gearbox, manual brakes, no hydraulic brake, power brakes. And I still prefer to drive like that with a standard box.
Yes, and now there's cars that drive themselves,
They
right?
drive themselves. Yes, as I say, you sit there and it takes you. And I don't like that.
No, it's better to have some more control over it for sure. And what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned in that time? Now, you did mention that a person's handshake, once upon a time, people would honour their word.
Yeah.
You know, why do you think that people nowadays, so many people are challenged with honouring what they say they're going to do?
Yes, I don't know. And I can only come back to that one word. That the Australian that I grew up with is not here anymore. And I can only come back to that one word. It's just... It seems to be people have just got a completely different outlook on life now to what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, my parents, I had the best parents you could imagine. And Dad taught me, if you want anything, you work for it. If I wanted... I can remember as a child once wanting a shilling to go to a movie with a friend next door. And Dad said, he looked at me and said, Mal, nothing in this world is free. And our front fence was a privet hedge. And he said, there's the clippers. Go and clip the front hedge and I'll give you a shilling. And that's what we had to do. And Mum taught us the word respect, like you would not believe. If you back answered, or anything at all, on the kitchen, Mum and Dad never laid a hand on us in anger, but on the kitchen table was a bottle of castor oil. And if you back answered, didn't do what you were asked to do straight away, you got a spoonful of castor oil.
Oh.
And if you ever had castor oil, you'll only ever do that naughty thing once.
All right.
You'll never do it the second time.
Wow.
So so we were taught. But then it sounds like they were hard, but they weren't. And then Friday, Dad used to hook the car up. We had an 8-berth caravan. And Dad would hook the car up to the caravan before he went to work. And then we'd come home from school Friday. We'd do our little jobs, do our homework, have a bath, have dinner, and Mum would put us to bed in the caravan. And we would wake up Saturday morning in the mountains, or Mum and Dad had a thing about Baddo Bay on the Central Coast, and we used to end up a lot and spend the weekend away. Every weekend we spent away. So they were really, really great parents, good parents.
And that's right, there was discipline back then. I mean, we had the cane once upon a time when I was growing up in Sydney. Now, of course, you know, a lot of people are very against that. And, of course, the cane has been outlawed and, you know, kids are literally getting away with murder now. And, you know, what do you think of the whole idea of people say, oh, discipline them with kindness? What do you think of that thought?
It does not work. It does not work. And as I say, Dad used to say, if you had a problem, you hit hard the first time. You can never do it the second time. And children have been given the right now. I have a very good friend now that a 12-year-old has taken out an AVO against the friend's partner. And he now cannot go near the house because he shouted she was stealing money from his wallet and he was shouting at her. And she rang the police and took out an AVO against this man, and he can't go near the house. And this is children now. You can say go and stand in the naughty corner, and they can say get lost. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And there is nothing you can do to stop it.
Yes. I do believe we're breeding people in Australia not to work now. I mean, we have, you know, Centrelink and, you know, a lot of people are ripping the system off too. They're saying that, you know, getting disability pension and all sorts of things. They might have a little sore back, but yet they, you know, a lot of people are abusing the system. And, you know, it's becoming harder and harder to find, you know, people who want to actually work. And this is where the immigration has gone through the roof because people come from overseas and they've come from backgrounds where they've had to work to actually, you know, feed themselves. And they come here and, of course, they're getting a lot of the jobs because they're the ones putting their hand up for the work, you know?
Yeah. And they make, Australia seems to be making it too easy to get money for nothing.
And then they tax those that do work. They tax them to buggery, right?
And it's why work when I can spend all day on the beach?
Yeah.
And get paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was at a beach about 2 months ago, and it was packed with all young 20 to 30-year-old young blokes all surfing, which should have been at work. And from the age of 14, I have worked every single day of my life. I didn't have a holiday until I got married at 23. So for the first 9 years of working, I worked every weekend. I had 3 days a year holiday. It was Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and Good Friday, because those are the days other people don't work, which gave me the money to buy my first tractor, my first loader. And at 23, as I say, I was able to build my own house, or have the deposit to build my own house, and put a deposit down on my first front-end loader. And from there on, I've just got on. I've had a good life.
And how long were you married?
39, about 39 years.
And is your wife still with us? Or
Yes, but she's not very well. Unfortunately, again, just getting age. It's just, yeah.
Right. How old is she now?
I think she's 92, I think.
Okay. And what words of wisdom can you give people, looking back at your life, at all the things you've learned, what are some things that you sort of wish you knew earlier in life that you could now, impart some wisdom to people, maybe some words of advice on how to live a great life?
I don't wish anything, to be honest. I really don't. I've been involved with a lot of great people. I've had a fantastic 39 years with the riding school with horses that I love being with. I've met some great children. All I can say is hard work. I don't find problems with people. I accept people as they are, but I don't know what to say to that. I really don't, because it's just a way of life.
So you have no regrets from your
no
past?
Regrets.
Wonderful. Well, that's a great way to live life, right?
I've had some rubbish in my life, yes. But I've had a great life.
And how have you dealt with challenges that you've had through your life?
Just go about it. You have to survive, and you live through things like this. If it was problems with work, I just worked harder and longer and got through it to make enough finances to survive. If it's personal and I had problems, I'm a great believer in there but for the grace of God go I. And it's, I don't have a great deal of problem with people. I enjoy being with people.
And how would you like people to remember you when you pass, as we're all going to pass to the other side at some stage? How would you like people to sort of remember you and think about you from the?
That's a hard one.
It is a tough question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I don't know. Just that I've tried to do a lot for people in my life. I've been a blood donor for many years. I've given a lot to charity over the years. Yeah, that I was a good bloke. I worked hard. I've looked after my son. I don't want any great funeral or anything. I just want to peacefully. I'd like to go like my grandfather did. Old Tom Robson. He died the best way possible. It was Christmas Day. He had his Christmas meal and sat in his chair at the end of the table and just went to sleep.
Wow.
And after 3 hours, the family thought we should wake him up. But he'd passed away.
Wow.
So he had his Christmas meal, enjoyed his family,
Oh.
and just went to sleep. That would be a great way to go.
Wow. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Mal? Any words of wisdom for future generations?
Please try and go back to the handshake. It was, in that period of growing up, it was a great period of my life. It really was. It was, there were never, I never locked my house up, ever. And one night, his name was Sergeant Whittaker, the local policeman at French's Forest, was driving past my place at 2 a.m. and there was a car parked at the front. And he came in to check. And the next morning he came up and was screaming at me, "You're so stupid, your house was wide open." He walked through the house, put the torch on my wife and I in bed. And he said, "Lock your house up." I never used to lock my house up. But now, today, I have had stuff stolen in the last couple of years. And I find that very sad that we've come to this. I really do. But yeah, I've only been locking my house up over the last couple of years.
Through COVID?
Pardon?
Through COVID?
No, I don't know what it was because of.
Okay.
It's when you have your ride-on mower and garden tools and electric tools, whatever you've taken, it's, I think it's very sad we've got to this stage, this state.
I do believe in karma. What are your thoughts about karma? You know, like you mentioned, treat horses or treat animals as you like to be treated. What are your thoughts about people who do things like that, who steal things, who, you know, don't honour their word? What do you think about that?
I just feel very sad for them. There's nothing I can do about it, so why worry about it?
Yeah.
I don't. It's upsetting at the time, but then you just get on with life. I mean, that's how life, unfortunately, today is. I find it a little bit hard today to trust people.
Yeah.
Which that never happened before.
Why do you think that is now? Why are things so different?
I don't know. It's like this young person that has the AVO on this fellow. It just steals money and steals things. And the child is 12 and has an AVO against an adult for complaining about her taking money out of his wallet. And it's not right. And it will progressively get worse. I would hate to be alive in 30 years from now. I wouldn't want to be alive. And I think that's sad when it gets to a stage like this. And it's not just here, it seems to be worldwide. You know, with demonstrations that's going on today, with the damage that's done, and the cost, and the damage to property and to people, and for what? Does it achieve anything? Tell me once that any of these rights have achieved anything. The only one that I think was in Tasmania, was it over the river? All the complaints down there, they stopped them damming the river. I forget the name of the river now.
Okay.
They had a massive demonstration down, didn't they? And they blocked the dam. And that's the only one I can think of that ever achieved anything.
To save the rainforest, maybe, was it?
No, they were going to dam. What was the name of the river in Tasmania? I forget the name of the river now.
Okay.
A beautiful, beautiful country.
I'm not sure either.
And they were going to build a dam and block the river. And there was another one. Years and years ago, they were going to destroy the Queen Victoria building in Sydney. And the unions stopped that. And to me, that was the only good thing. No, I'll get shot for this, but that's the only good thing the unions have done. They saved the Queen Victoria building. Because we seem to, in Australia, we seem to knock old things down that should be kept. When my grandfather came to Australia back in 1860, he lived in a mud brick building in Enfield brickyards. And they've demolished it. That should have been part of the history of the country. And we just knock it down to make space for a high rise or whatever it is. It doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Yes, that's happening all over the Gold Coast at the moment. There's high rises going up left, right, and centre.
Yeah, it's and the beautiful old buildings are just knocked out and they go.
Yes, they were classic times back in the day, and I think family values too were very different.
Oh,
you know,
entirely different. Yes, as I say, Mum and Dad they weren't home, but they made us do our work. Dad would say to you, if you sat down, don't be idle. Get up and find something to do. Get up and find something to do. And I was taught that you work. If you want something, you work for it. You don't keep asking for something free. You work. And Mum taught us the word respect. And if you're taught that from a very early age, you will spend your life respecting yourself, people, property, and so on. I would never dream of damaging a property or doing anything wrong with it. So it's, I repeat myself, I've had a good life.
Amazing.
A very good life.
Anything you'd like your future generations, your grandchildren or children to know, anything you'd like to say to them who might be watching now?
I have the most beautiful granddaughter. I'm very proud of her. She's been through uni. She's working on a property in Queensland. I believe from the homestead to the boundary is 37 kilometres, so it's a massive, massive property. And she's doing very well. Not only is she a beautiful girl, but she's also mentally beautiful. She's got a great outlook on life, loves what she's doing, and she's great. She really is. Very proud of her, extremely.
Anything you'd like to say to her right now?
Not really. She'll probably kill me at Christmas. I only see her very occasionally. She's on a property that, as I say, is just so vast. And the 37 kilometres is only from the homestead to the boundary. I mean, I assume that the homestead's in the middle of the property. It's a vast property. So when you're in areas like that, you don't see them that often.
Well, I'm sure your family is sending you love right now, and I think love is very important in as what I would say in my 50 years on the planet. Yeah. I think having love for self and love for others is very important. How important has love been in your life?
Well, I come back to one word, respect, because that's how I see love as respect.
Yeah.
And I come back to this one word all the time. You respect yourself and your people around you and your property and so on. And that's animals, everything. Rather than love, I find that one word.
Respect.
It's so important to me.
It's a great word. Great word. Any final words you'd like to share, Mal? It's been such a pleasure chatting with you.
It's been nice to be able to say what I think. I hope I don't get into trouble.
No, you won't get into any trouble here. This is you sharing your truth, Mal, and I really appreciate it. Final words for our viewers or anything else you'd like to say?
Don't cook your veggies. Eat them raw. It'll make you live longer. It's great to eat them because the flavour is there. I love when I eat to crunch. Which crunching is another thing. Guy will kill me on this, but I can't stand other people crunching. But I like to crunch my veggies because they're raw. So, my son was eating a biscuit once. No, it was an apple. He was crunching on the apple, and it annoyed me so much that I screamed at him to suck it rather than crunch it. You will kill me for this. But yeah, I don't know. Just live it. Don't let things get to you. You know, you can survive. Things will come good. And yeah, it's all I can say. Just work hard and respect. And if you respect people, they will respect you back. It's yeah.
And how important, finally, is your faith in God, your faith, your spiritual faith?
Now that I've only ever been to church twice. The first time I was hit by a car and had my collarbone and shoulder smashed. The chap it was an elderly chap and he had a medical problem. I won't mention the second time. But I was on a holiday once in Rome and we went to the Vatican. And my wife wanted to take photos inside the church. And this is as true as I am sitting here. She wanted to take photos and I said, he's not going to let you take photos. On the film was 30 slides. The first 10 came out. The 10 in the middle of the Vatican did not come out, and the final 10 came out. But the 10 photos that my wife took of the Vatican were blank. That's as true as I sit here.
Oh my gosh! And that was back in the film days, of course.
That was back in it was back in 1970 something.
Wow.
75. Yeah.
Wow.
1970.
So maybe some divine intervention there, you think?
Yeah. So he doesn't like me. Yeah. So I'm not a religious man.
All right. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, it's just I keep coming back to that one word. Yeah, I do.
Yes, respect. Thank you so much. Well, I have a lot of respect for you, Mal. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And
it's been fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's a life well lived at 94 years of age. Mal Robson, the founder of Palomino Coral Riding School in Belrose in Sydney. And what an extraordinary life. His family could well be linked to Potts Point, the naming of. And apparently his family owned a lot of crow's nests too. Is that right?
Yeah, they did, yes.
Yeah, a lot of crow's nests. Actually, very quickly, a little bit about the crow's nest story.
My grandfather lived in Clark Street, Crow's Nest. Had a earth moving, well, I don't know what you would call it. He was excavated where Luna Park stands today, all the rock which was used in the making of roads around Crow's Nest and North Sydney, Wallaby. Was very well respected, one of the top judges at the Sydney Royal in the horse section. He was also, I don't know what you would call him, but like Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge at St Leonard's. And he also lived a very good, healthy life, I think. He died at a great age, loved his horses, loved his animals. He was a really, truly, the horses that he owned were all working horses, Clydesdales and Shire horses. I was told, I don't know how true, but he is supposed to have had best part of 400 horses. I don't know how true that is. But when you consider going out to Palm Beach and taking 5 days with a 10-horse team, there'd be more than one team going, so there could be, as I said before, best part of 100 horses on the one trip. Now, if that's true, and I can't see Dad saying all that if it wasn't, he could have had that amount of horses. And when he died, just before he died, he bought a property at Corindi and retired all his horses at Corindi. And I believe he was the first importer of white trucks into Australia. And he went from horses to trucks, but always thought that the trucks would never last. And that's why he kept his horses, because one day I'm going to bring them back. So when he passed away, they were sold to a knackery at Wagga for £5 a horse, which was dreadful.
Oh,
So I was very sad.
oh, that is sad. Well, let's end this on a happy note, and let's look at some things we're grateful for in our life. So what are some things you're grateful for in your life,
Well,
Mal?
obviously, my son, my granddaughter, and my own health. Very happy for that. And I'm just grateful for my whole life. I've had some silly business in my life, but I've had a very, very good, fruitful life. Financially, I've done well. Physically, very well. I've travelled a lot. I've seen a lot in my life. I just wish now that my son would do the same.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mal. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Mal Robson, what an absolute treat to be able to chat with Mal and share part of his story. And thank you so much for tuning in. Elaine, good to see you. Juliana, hello. Let us know, what did you get out of that conversation? Let us know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. What are some words of wisdom that you've captured for yourself on how to live a great life, a life well lived? And certainly things are different now than they were 94 years ago. However, as you can see here, Mal is going strong. He's healthy. He's very with it mentally. And it just goes to show that, they say 70 is the new 40. And I think Mal's just getting started here. So thanks once again, Mal. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed that. Let's stay connected. All my links are at linktr.ee/Aldwyn, linktr.ee/Aldwyn. You'll see the link in my bio. And I do have a great webinar coming up called How to Build a Global Brand, coming up August 23. So check out my link tree and you'll see the link for that, or follow me on Eventbrite or Humanitix, or just follow me on socials. You'll see all that info. Sending you much love today. Here is to a lot of respect, a lot of love for you and for your loved ones, and to having the most amazing life. And that's how you do it, as Mal has shared here today. That's how you have a life well lived. Thanks once again. We'll see you again soon.